Antonio Cromartie, one of the top free agents available in the National Football League, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show at Crow31. You're very active on Twitter, Antonio, so I'd love to get you, I guess, on the topic of the day from yesterday too and today about what Curt Schilling did to go find the trolls that said something about his daughter. What do you think about that, Antonio?
Honestly, you can't. I guess I consider this. You have people that get on Twitter that wants to be, or Instagram that wants to be, Instagram or Twitter gangsters or whatever you want to call them, to feel like they have the right to say anything about anyone to their own opinion, not knowing that you don't know what that kind of person may be or who you're talking about may come out and find you. I think what Curt did, honestly, I loved it. He's protecting his family. He has every right to. You just never know who you may run across rub the wrong way when you're talking about somebody's family. How
often do you get tweets that you feel are beyond the pale, Antonio?
Honestly, I get a lot. Especially the biggest thing with me is it'd be talking about my kids. But at the end of the day, for me, I just ignore it and just continue to go about my business. And half the time, I'm active in my Twitter and my Instagram, but I do it to a certain extent and don't mind anything else. Most of the time, I just go in and delete things and go from there.
So yeah, because it seems like somebody like yourself and any of your colleagues in the NFL or in the sports world, that if you do respond to this sort of thing, it's akin to you yelling at a fan who's booing you in the stands, and it's a no-win situation for you. Antonio,
No, it's not. It's not a no-win because at the end of the day, if you go out and go do something, you go out and go hit someone or whatever. At the end of the day, you can come back and say, "Hey, I'm suing. I'm filing a civil lawsuit on you." From that point, and you don't want to go through that with that person or anything else. For me, you don't want to really try to give that person the satisfaction of saying, "Well, I did this and got this from this guy because he did this."
Antonio Cromartie joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what do you think guys in the Philadelphia locker room are thinking right now, Antonio, seeing their leading rusher traded away for another guy who comes in with the same alma mater as that's on the coach's resume? Antonio, what do you think?
I don't know. I think when you look at that, I think guys are probably looking like, man, well, nobody's safe. Nobody's you probably have guys looking at it as like there's no loyalty in this business, and from that standpoint. I can't speak for the guys, but for me just looking in, if I was on that team, I'm looking like, why we get rid of a guy that's, one that led the NFL 2 years ago and still rushed for over 1,000 yards. This point in time has been very productive in the system. I will look at it from that standpoint. You got a guy that's been very productive throughout his whole entire NFL career. Doesn't look like, to me, he's slowing down in any way. I understand he's an outspoken guy, man, but you need those guys in the locker room to be outspoken and lead the team the right way, because you get a couple guys that follow that guy and make sure that they're doing the same thing, that he's being productive on the football field.
Antonio, what do you think LaShawn's going to hear from Rex Ryan when he shows up, or he needs a phone call from Rex Ryan in order to show up because he's upset about getting traded? What do you think he's going to hear from Rex, your former coach?
I think honestly, Rex is just going to be honest with him. I think Rex is going to be a guy, you're going to touch the ball a lot. We're going to try to get your ball in various ways in the system that we have here. And, you're going to be, the horse that's going to run the show, and that's I think that's what Rex is going to look at it as and just go from there.
If you wouldn't mind holding on 60 seconds, we'll pay for the call. We'll pay for your rate. Antonio Cromartie, we're going to take a break, 1 minute's time, and come back and talk about where he thinks he might be playing National Football League football in 2015. A free agent cornerback, one of the tops available. Antonio Cromartie back here on the Rich Eisen Show, including your phone calls at 844-204-RICH. In a moment. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Tomorrow is the deadline for Peyton Manning to pass his physical in Denver. So things are going to come to a head in Denver pretty quickly with what's going on with Manning's future there, his contract, what that might mean for Julius Thomas. Demaryius Thomas was franchise tagged on Monday. Woody Page will be joining this program at the top of the next hour to talk about that and, of course, what's going on with the Denver Nuggets, who fired their coach and then won a game last night. In the meantime, we're thankful that Antonio Cromartie, free agent cornerback, held on throughout the break. Antonio, when free agency hits next week, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know, to be honest with you. You have a lot of talk with me going back to New York. You have a little bit of talk going back to Arizona. Honestly, I really don't know.
What if
for me, I think the biggest thing for me is just, I want to make sure it's the best option for me, and not just from a money standpoint, from also but a contender standpoint. So, me and my agent Ben Dorga has been going backwards and forth, just communicating on what I'm looking for coming into free agency.
So the reason why people are connecting the dots between you and New York is obviously you played for the Jets, you know the area, and now you know their new head coach, who was your defensive coordinator last year. Is it smart to connect those dots in your mind, Antonio?
I mean, it's smart. I mean, my house is still there. I mean, it's smart to connect the dots. I mean, everyone knows that at that point last year when I got released, I never wanted to leave. But at the end of the day, it worked out the best for me. I love Coach Bowles and what he can bring to the table as a head coach, and his defense is just tremendous. I think what he does with guys on that side of the ball is something that I haven't seen in a long time, besides with Rex Ryan. So, trying to make sure guys are playing at a very high level and understanding what guys are doing. But if that decision came out and everything was put out the right way and everything, was where we wanted to be for both sides, then, yes, that situation would definitely work.
What if Rex Ryan called you up, Antonio?
If Rex Ryan called me up, it'd be the same thing. I mean, it's in New York, so it's not that far from my home. And, I think the biggest thing is just looking at it and making sure that the decision works out best for me and for the organization. I don't want to go to a situation where that situation is not contending or that situation is not where I feel like it should be. When me coming from Arizona, we felt like we had a contending team to play for a Super Bowl. We just felt like losing two quarterbacks, and nothing against Ryan Lindley at all. Just losing our first two quarterbacks and make things a little more difficult.
Antonio Cromartie joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what are the chances that you just stay put?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you that, Rich. I'm being dead honest. I couldn't even tell you. Because, I love playing out there in Arizona with those Rebel Group young guys, and, having a quarterback that's established and understands what he wants to do and go from there. I mean, it just speaks volume. I just saw, if we have Carson, maybe we go deeper into the playoffs, maybe we don't. But, that situation there presents itself by itself, just having the offense that it has and also the defense that it has also.
Do you know what Dockett might do?
No, I do not.
You do
not?
No,
I do not. I've talked to him, but, I think Dockett right now is just he wants to try to get the best thing for him and also be on the contending team that's ready to make a Super Bowl run.
I wonder if you could give voice to what this feels like. I went through a contract negotiation last summer. It wasn't fun. I'll be very honest with you. But I'm in a profession where, I can be a 60-year-old man doing this thing, knock on wood. I'm knocking on my head right now. I could do this, as long as my voice holds up and fans want to hear from me. There's a clock, there's a window. What is it like to be an athlete in this situation where you could take things so personal, but it's a business? What is this time like for you, Antonio Cromartie?
Honestly, this is my third time in free agency, so I just take it as, at the end of the day, whatever God has for me and where I'm destined to be, that's where I'm going to be placed. Right now I haven't been worried about it. I've been, spending time with my family and working out. Just started working out 2 weeks ago. So, for me, I haven't been stressing about it like I probably did my first 2 times into free agency, not understanding what's going on. You in that I don't know zone, or what if possibilities, or what this can happen, or if this don't happen the right way, and somebody don't look at me or value me this much, or you look at it certain ways. But now, going into year 10, my third time in free agency, you just look at it as I'm just going to go about my business and, carry myself as a regular offseason.
Well, good luck to you, Antonio. I appreciate you calling in, and call us back when you get situated, okay?
I got it. No problem, Rich. I got you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. That's Antonio Cromartie.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.